All right, Kutan Ramon's House of Math. Here is a quick video talking about playing with purpose. Where do you play with your boys? Where do boys play? Where do little children play? Not just boys. They play on the floor. So we're going to teach math on the floor. So, not at a desk, not at a table. You're not trying to recreate a classroom situation in your homeschool. You're creating a math-rich, learning-rich environment. And where they learn is on the floor. So we played on the floor. And when we start with algebra, watch some YouTube videos, multiplication rock, and you can see it keeps their attention. They're only 3 minutes, so quickly and easily the mathematics can be acquired, especially the multiplication tables, because the multiplication tables are the milestone in mathematics. So he and his brother come together, and I teach one of them at a time, and then sometimes two of them at a time. While he is fooling around doing algebra, here's a problem where he's trying to figure out how to factor x squared, 9x, and 18, and he's just figured out that, two nines isn't going to work. So then, of course, he tries threes, and threes do work. And then we talk about constancy. Oops, not this one, but the next one, where he figures out that, three sixes and six threes are the same. And you get the same factoring with this different blocks. Here, we got a square number. That's x squared, 8x, and 16. And he factored it, and he figured out, and you can see his brother playing in the background. A lot of parents think that, oh, you don't want to have, they want to have a sterile environment with no noise. No, this actually helps him concentrate when his siblings are fooling around, or when their siblings are fooling around in the background. They have to focus. This actually helps with the attention span and with their focus. It doesn't hinder it. Unless, of course, they're being totally crazy and, disturbing the lesson. But if they're just fooling around and playing in the background, he has to focus here while his brother is playing back there. He also figured out that x plus 4 squared would be the fastest, most efficient way to write that. So x squared, 8x, and 16, x squared, or excuse me, x plus 4 times x plus 4, or just x plus 4 squared. Learning basic math concepts, factoring, and playing. And see, it's fun when you get the right answer. And more factoring, and you can see, there he is. He has to concentrate. His brother is goofing around in the background, right? Running around and generally being a 6-year-old while he's working on algebra. All right, so here we had x squared and we added another x, so we have x squared, 10x, and 24. And what we're actually working on, if you can't see it here, is he just built all his add-ins, and then we worked and, well, what's the word I want? Cemented, consolidated the ideas that 4 and 6 is 10, 6 times 4 is 24, algebra is along for the ride. Look at all the facts he's getting. And we're not playing with worksheets. Worksheets are last. I'm writing currently a little dissertation on the 5 basic concepts, and one of the differences between the Mortensen system, or Kutan Ramon's House of Math, and the Montessori system that it was based on is that the emphasis is on play with the Mortensen system. And lo and behold, we teach more faster than in the traditional classroom situation, because we play and have fun. All right, and then we're watching some more multiplication rock videos after we've, and you can see it's 8. You can see the 8's in his hand. And what they're going to do is play toss across. So we're going to learn multiplication. We've just heard the patterns, 8, 16, 24, etc. And now we're playing toss across. So when you throw, so he's got a pile of 8's in his hands. When you throw the first one, well, 1 8 is 8, 2 8's is 16, 3 8's is 24. You can look in your hands and see that you have 3 8's, and 3 8's is the same as 24. Add another 8. Oh, now we're up to 32. Add another 8. How many 8's in your hand? 5. Oh, that's 5 times 8 is 40. Now, when they first start off and they're just watching multiplication rock and doing the patterning, they can count 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. But if I ask them how many eights in 40, they probably couldn't, the younger boy probably couldn't say 5. The older boy is getting it down to the point where he understands with instant recall that 6 times 8 is 48 and 9 times 8 is 72 without having to think about it. That's what we're doing here. The way to get there, though, is to play games, not crush them with worksheets and time trials. And then listen to music and play. I was specifically hired by this parent because she wanted to make it so that her sons had a fun time with math, not the things that she was seeing that she was going to expose them to when they were doing their homeschooling, trying to figure out their math curriculum. And they're definitely having a lot more fun with me than they would have had with other methods, and learning a lot more faster. Okay, so there they are playing toss across. And then after we get done playing toss across, let's build stuff. Well, let's see here and count it. So can you see that we've got a couple of 8s here, and we can see that, let's see, 2 8s is 16, 3 8s is 24. There's another 8 in the background there, so 32. And they can see that 32 is 1, 2, 3, 4 8s. All right, and then building is fun, and they're cooperating, two brothers, right, playing and enjoying themselves with mathematics. Oh my goodness! And right here, the younger boy could just as easily be doing algebra, but right here we're practicing 8s. All right, so and here they're fooling around and playing. Do they look like they're having a good time? They're goofing around, but they're learning math at the same time. And he was factoring a polynomial, and he was sticking math, blocks down his pants, and having a fun time doing it. Okay, so then we decided, all right, we've been fooling around, let's do something more constructive. How about we build a tower? Now, this tower, once again, and I should have put one more slide in here, and I'm not going to, where the child used 9 blocks, all the same blocks, and what we were doing was multiplication. Here we're doing compound lesson where they're building 10s, and what we have there is 2 5s, 9 and a 1, 7 and a 3, a 10 in the middle, 8 and a 2, and counting by 10s is super easy, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And now the next level is going to be 9s. And we have all the combinations for 9 there. And then we can count 9 at a time. 9, 18, 27, 36, just so they hear the patterning. And then perhaps they see that 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, because 5 9s is 45, and there's going to be 5 blocks per level. You could also make it where there's 9 blocks per level. You could also make it where there's 6 blocks per level. You could make it so there's only 4 blocks per level. You can't play wrong. Just play. Give them projects and play. And now you can see, look, more than math. What have we got here? Hand-eye coordination, fine motor skills, balance. There's more than math going on here. But also, and you can see, he's waiting for his turn. They took turns, because this is the fun part, right? Trying to put the level on without knocking the tower down. So we've got 10s and 9s and 8s. And 7s comes next. And how much fun is it when it starts getting so tall that they have to stand up? Any little boy or girl will tell you bigger is funner. The taller the thing is, how tall can you make it? And they used up pretty much all their blocks there. And very carefully, once again, using fine motor skills. And you can see, there he is right-handed. And the little boy in the background waiting his turn to put a level on. All right, so we got the thing built. Now, rather than just knock it down, which is the most fun part of the whole thing, play Jenga. And can you see, he's taking out an 8 and reinforcing the fact that 5 and 3 is 8. Because that's the 8 level, and he's taking out an 8. And then we got, and you can see, he took it out without knocking it down. And then his brother took one out, and now he's trying to take out a 9 without knocking it down. And look, it's fun. They're having fun. We're learning math. And while we built this thing, we counted 5 of each one of these. We counted 5 8s, we counted 5 7s, right, up to 35. You don't have to go all the way to 12 or 20 every single time. Just get them down. And you'll know, well, you know, that we have 5 9s here, which is the same as 9 5s, even though there's only 5 up here. So they practice their 5s, right? They get all the math facts in. They just don't get them in an organized, orderly pattern. The way worksheets where, oh, look, here's a worksheet where they're all 8s. Here's a worksheet where they're all 5s. And then they'll mix them up a little bit. And at the end, they start doing time trials and causing anxiety. I can tell you, again, after many years of experience, this is a much better way to learn math facts. Playing and having fun. You play with purpose. All right, so they knocked the thing down, but they didn't knock the whole thing down. It managed to, this part fell off, but part of it's still standing. So even more exciting. And then here's them counting 8s again. There's 2 8s, which makes 16. And we're watching more multiplication rocket video. And then at the end, to make it a whole brain exercise, the 6-year-old writes down, and the older boy was writing down his algebra, but in order for him to write these things down, the left and right brains, and that's not exactly what's going on there, but close enough for our discussion, the left and right brains, the hemispheres, have to talk to each other in order for him to take a pencil and write these symbols down. Now, these symbols stand for the things that he just built. There's 1 8, there's the 2 8s, there's 3 8s, there's the 4 8s, there's 5 8s. And he wrote them in order in 2 columns, 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and then 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. He gave him all manner of kudos and congratulations, and Mui the Moo Cow said yay, and we had fun talking about it because he didn't have to put them in between the lines and make them small and neat. The idea was write down these 10 math facts correctly. That 3 is the right way, that 5 is the right way, each one of these numbers. And as he gets older and his fine motor skills develop more, he'll be able to write smaller and more neatly. But for now, this is great. He got all of his numbers, put them down in his notebook. We completed the exercise with 8s and the left and right hemispheres, so you get a whole brain exercise going on there. And it's not just like in public school where it's only the left brain and writing and symbols, and it's not like in some free schools where it's only playing with blocks and there's no communication between the hemispheres because they never get a chance to pick up a pencil and a paper. All right, Crouton Ramon's houseofmath.com. Play math, just play. You can't play wrong. Understand the focus or where you're going with it. The idea here was we were doing algebra, but we were also learning math facts for multiplication. The algebra was to reinforce math facts for multiplication, but also add-ins and build the relationship between the 2 boys, male bonding as they play together and learn together, and endorphins go off in each of their minds as they make discoveries. This boy's really good at it, and I should get some video because when he gets it, he really gets it. And I don't have a picture of it where he's like, oh, I get it. And here where he's seen that, that 3 6s it works, but 2 9s didn't work. And I can take those 3s out and put 6s there, and 3 6s and 6 3s are the same thing. All pretty big math concepts. We take them for granted, but as they're learning these concepts, and this is concept-based teaching, absolutely are cemented and internalized and understood, so that math isn't a mystery, it's not hard, it's fun, and eventually they can start teaching themselves math because they have the understanding and ability to do it. All right, Crouton Ramon's houseofmath.com for more. If you need tutoring, get in touch. If you want to do it yourself, which is what I would prefer you do, is teach them yourself. The passwords are on sale as I'm goofing around. creating web pages and more PDFs and taking old information off and putting new information in, and it's that non-stop thing. But I have about 200 more pages to go to fix or go over. But some of them are going to be much faster, and I've got bogged down on some of the ones I'm in now, but that's about to change this weekend. And also I got distracted with the thing that just happened. But now the focus is back on the math. All right, CroutonRamon'sHouseOfMath.com for more.